22nd, it was inverted for a full week, and typically around on average 14 months after the yield curve inverts, a recession usually follows. It's predicted the last 7 recessions, so I just want to throw it out there. It happened on March 22nd. It's inverted right now again. So maybe in the next coming year, beginning 2020, we might want to go to a little more defensive holdings, more towards bonds, more dividend payers. So
you just said don't fear.
we always still need to be invested because inflation's going to go up. The value of cash is always going to go down, but we can definitely go into more defensive positions based on these new findings in the inverted yield curve. It has predicted the last 7 recessions. And then I also want to talk about small caps. I think they're really undervalued. So let me write this out. From 1926 to 2006, the large caps have done 10.4% over this term. Small caps, it's going to probably surprise a lot of you guys. 12.7. And I'm not cherry picking because after 2006, the past 14 years, it's completely outperformed multiple percentage points too. So you could pick out any 5-year term or pick out, oh, the large cap has done better the past few years or whatever, because they do go back and forth. But over the long run, it has multiple percentage points over the large cap. And they get underrepresented in the media and stuff because of a few reasons. So billionaires, if a billionaire wants to invest in a small cap company and an individual stock that's a small cap, they're not going to be able to because they have so much money. If they invested a large portion into a small cap, they would own the whole company. So billionaires have to look for large caps. And also, no one's really interested in companies no one's ever heard of. I mean, you know, Samsung's right there. We have Toshiba, Sony. I have my Apple AirPods. Everyone's interested in this stuff. This is all large cap companies. So since everyone's interested, since everyone owns this stuff, the media loves talking about it, and they don't give much attention to small caps, and that's why all you hear about is the S&P 500. But you have to remember, small caps are a big money maker. We should be looking to our small cap mutual funds that we have and put that in every portfolio. And a lot of people also say because it's more volatile and more risky, we like large caps better. In 2008, both of these dropped 37% during that recession. Both of these, they dropped the same exact amount. So it didn't drop more. And it's done way better the past 10 years. And throughout history, it's gotten that multiple percentage points. So that's a really big deal. And then I want to just put out the difference in that percentage. So if you had $10,000 over 40 years, so if you get a client at 20 years old who's investing in his Roth IRA, but this isn't lump sum, but yeah, we'll draw the numbers out. So for the S&P, or the large cap fund, over the 40 years, that 10,000 will have grown to 525,000.
Wow.
But small cap, $1.2 million.
Wow.
More than double. So your client is going to have more than twice the amount of money than you would have if you invested in more large cap. So those 2.3 percentage points, it might not seem like a lot, but over the long run, when your clients are investing for decades and decades with you in Primerica, over the long run, those 2.3 percentage points really expand. So definitely should have it as part of your portfolio. Definitely is underrepresented, and that's all.
if you trust that person, you will give them business. You will give them more business if there's something of value in it for you, right? If someone's actually giving you something for nothing, or giving you a bargain, or doing something that gives you something better terms of that deal, that's value. You will commit more to that. You'll refer more to that. And then lastly, it's experience. Not just time, but I like the word experience means, what are you delivering? When you sit down with a client, and when they come to see you, when you come to see them, what experience do you provide? The way you greet them, the knowledge base that you have, the literature that you provide, your brand that you deliver. If we can help you elevate each one of those, that's our job at Life. And it's a tough job right now because in the financial services world, it seems that no one is positive right now. Yes. You turn on the news, the market's in the dumps. You turn on this, the economy is going on the toilet. You turn on this, President Trump saying another wonderful thing. And it boggles the mind. No one is positive about anything nowadays. But when I look at what the market is, and that's the S&P 500, or you can even say the Dow. I mean, the S&P right now, year to date, is 12.73%. Is that something to be sad about?
No.
The Dow is 9.68%. I mean, I like those numbers. Especially when savings accounts are less than a lot
Right.
less.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, that I'm being generous. It's 0.0. So you know, and we look at these are the broad-based ones, and then you got like, you know, the mid-cap market, which is the S&P 400, which is right now, you know, at a little over 12%, and then the Russell 2000, which is the small-cap market, which is 12.28%. Everything's kind of double digits, right? Is the sky falling?
No.
No. Once again, this is why we're here, to learn the rules of the game, to understand the signal versus the noise. Noise is what your competition is going to say. Noise is what the clients are going to say. Noise is what the people at the work are going to say. Noise is what the media is going to say. Signal is reality. That's reality. 0.09% for our savings account today, which using the rule of 72 means your account will double every 800 years. That's reality. And the reality means you're never going to do anything you want because you're going to be controlled by the situation, by the system, by the world. Reality is, if you're growing your wealth like this, you can control your financial life. You can take ownership. Well, these are more large cap kind of indices, meaning they invest in the big name companies. So, how did we do so far? Our large cap growth fund year to date, 16.76%. Is that better than the benchmark? Yeah. Our appreciation fund, first fund I ever owned, investing in cabinet companies. Right now, 13.81%. Is that better than the benchmark? Yes. Our dividend strategy fund, which is more conservative companies trying to not rock the boat, 14.86%. Is that better than the benchmark? That's the signal. Suppose you want to be a little more aggressive. How about the mid caps? Well, if we're looking at mid caps, we have our Clearbridge Select Fund, which is only up 17.91% year to date. Boo hoo hoo! My goodness, the world is falling. You can tweet all you want. That's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Our mid-cap fund, SBMAX, up 15.85%. Are those both better than the market?
Yes.
And the aggressive, the Russell Small Cap Index, our Clearbridge Small Cap Fund, LBRTX, is only up 16.14%. I say this because if you want to know the truth, talk to the source.
Right.
Truth will set you free.
And the truth will set you free. Give you a lot of money at the same time, too. All right. But why is the media? Why are all these, people just kind of coming out of the woodwork and jumping all against this bandwagon of opportunity? Because there is stuff going on out there, right? You have a president that half the people like him, half the people don't. By the way, isn't that every president?
Yes.
I say that because it's always that way.
Right.
But for some reason, it's new this time.
Right.
Maybe his grammar and spelling might be a little off. But, it's the same thing. 50% like, 50% don't like. All right. You got world leaders that are doing some crazy things too, right? You got Russia, you got China, you got North Korea. Has that ever happened